The Huskies are coming off a huge offensive weekend and a big weekend sweep over Western Michigan University. They are now up to third in this week's USCHO.com poll and are prepping for the North Star College Cup this weekend. Welcome to the St. Cloud State Huskies Hockey Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Taylor Budge. Alongside me is Mick Hatten from the St. Cloud Times. Mick, what an offensive weekend it was for the Huskies, scoring 15 goals. I talked to Jimmy Murray after the game on Saturday about the team's mentality since they'd kind of been struggling in their standards for contributing offense. And he said they just focused on playing the game and not scoring 7 or 8 goals per game, and they did just that this weekend. So how do they keep that mentality going against Mankato?
Well, you have to kind of turn the clock back to the weekend before when they played UMD, because that was not a weekend where they scored a ton of goals, and they had to kind of win a little bit of a gritty series. And both games were kind of that way up at UMD, and I think that mentality just kind of carried over into last weekend, even though the goals were up obviously over the weekend. But they got a team this next weekend here, Minnesota State Mankato, that's very tough defensively. So I think it's easy to kind of just shift right into that gear again with this weekend at the North Star College Cup.
Now, it definitely doesn't hurt the Huskies either. Now, for the first time this season, the entire roster is healthy. So that means they can kind of switch the lines up in what they've been doing the past few weeks.
Right. It's a nice thing that they're able to have a bunch of options. Ryan Papa kind of came back this past weekend. He had been out for quite a long stretch. And, when you look back at the Mankato series from earlier in the season, it was kind of a precursor of some things for St. Cloud State and Mankato, actually. St. Cloud State had 7 different goal scorers. Right now they've got 7 guys with 8 goals or more going into this weekend. So, Mankato on the other side has struggled to score goals. They got shut out both games in that series, so we'll see if that kind of continues this weekend.
I was going to say, you can't think about Mankato and not mention that first home series of the year. Charlie, of course, having back-to-back shutouts, a lot of different goal contributors. How do they get that to happen again and kind of relive the past, so to say?
Well, I think it all starts back in goal, and Charlie had a very strong weekend, up at UMD. Things got a little bit loose defensively. I think a couple of times this past weekend against Western Michigan, they just got to amp that back up, and Charlie will get refocused, and it'll be interesting to see because it's a bigger stage when you're playing in this tournament.
All right, so we touched on how Mankato's offense has kind of been struggling lately, but they make up for it on their penalty kill. They haven't given up a power play goal since November 21st. So with St. Cloud's power play coming in ranked 3rd nationally, how do you think that's going to balance out?
Right, Mankato's 3rd in the nation on the penalty kill, so it is an interesting matchup as who's going to have some give maybe there, or who's going to dominate in that department. But Mankato's got a very aggressive power play or penalty kill. St. Cloud State's just got to stay really patient on the power play, not get frustrated, and just stick with their game plan on the power play.
Another successful week for St. Cloud State's power play, and it was really cool to see Bob Motzko switching up the lines a lot. We had 4 different power play units out there, and all of them were contributing points.
Yeah, with the opportunity that they were given with the score, I mean, they were able to kind of shuffle some things up, maybe get some different looks, a 3rd and a 4th power play unit. He's never afraid to throw freshmen in there, and we saw actually an all-freshman unit at different points of the series.
Puck drop between the Huskies and Mavericks is set for 1 o'clock on Saturday. They are guaranteed 2 games in the North Star College Cup. They'll be playing at either 1 o'clock on Sunday for the 3rd place game or the championship game against Bemidji State or Minnesota at 4 o'clock. And we'll be back on Saturday night for a preview of that game. Mick, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.